Well, JT, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me, bro.
So, what's your background, man? And how did you get into the whole space of self-improvement?
Yeah, bro. So my background is my whole childhood. I just was playing baseball for about 5 years old to about 13, 14 years old. I was just playing baseball, traveling the world, playing at high competitive championship games, all these different things. Learned a lot about it, competition, discipline, mental toughness, all these things. And I kind of just when I got to high school, I got around the wrong people. My environment was wrong, and I lost the drive, the hunger of wanting to be a professional baseball player. That was my dream. That was my goal for basically my whole childhood. I just wanted to become a professional baseball player, retire my parents because I never wanted to live a normal life. That was always the goal, right? But then I gave that up. I lost the hunger. I lost the drive. I gave it up, and I was just living a meaningless life after that, an empty life after that, because I thought life was only one way, right? I thought life was only you grow up, go to school, you get a job, and you have fun as a guy, right? You have fun because as you get older, life gets worse. So you have to enjoy your younger years. You have to party, you have to drink, you have to smoke, you have to do all these things, right? So once I gave up baseball, I didn't have the purpose anymore. I didn't have the drive. I wasn't chasing anything. So I kind of just got into degeneracy. That's when I started smoking. I started drinking, playing video games, um, partying, going out, all these things. And that lasted up until I was 21, right? 14 to 21. I was just living like a degenerate life. And one day, I just learned about entrepreneurship. I learned about Ty Lopez self improvement because one of my cousins had a program of Ty Lopez, a social media marketing agency, and I was actually pissed when I learned about it because this whole time I didn't know there was another side of male life. I thought life there was just one way. Nobody told me this, and I was mad that I had to learn this by myself. I was mad that it took me this long, right? But like you said earlier, before we started recording, I'm grateful that eventually I did because there's so many people that they never get to learn about it. So it took me long, technically, because I was 21 years old, but I wish it was just from before. So once I learned about that, I kind of just jumped into entrepreneurship. I was like, fuck it, like I'm not playing baseball, I'm not doing anything, so fuck it, I'm just gonna jump into it. No business background, no knowledge, no anything, right? So I tried to start a marketing agency, and for people that don't know that, it's a service-based business. So you're providing a service for a business to get them revenue in return, and you charge them a percentage fee, you charge them a retainer per every month, right? So we 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 were working with ecom brands, right? We were doing Facebook ads for ecom brands,
And
and
this
it
was
took me
2021, right?
2021, right?
Yeah.
And it took me 4 months to get my first client. And after that, it was just a upward spiral, right? I got another client, another one, and then we hit 10K our first month, right? Coming from I didn't know anything about business, anything, and I was super excited, right? This was still the first half of 2021. And the second half of 2021, mind you, like I said, the first half of 2021, I was doing all the good habits. I was sleeping right, I was eating right, I was working out, I wasn't around anybody, I was basically by myself. That second half of that same year, 2021, I met a girl and I experienced the complacency of relationships. I kind of just everything just went downhill. I got complacent. I got lazy. We started doing all these fun bad habits, eating dirty, staying out late. Um, I'm not sleeping right anymore. I'm not reading as much as I used to. I'm not learning as much as I used to. I'm not outreaching as much as I used to. Right? Like I got comfortable. I was making a little bit of money. I got the hot girl. I'm doing all these fun things, and that December of 2021, I offboarded my last client. After that, I was never able to get the momentum back. I was outreaching. I just was never
Mm.
get it back. And for
You
people
gotta,
that
you gotta keep the momentum.
you got to keep the momentum. Is when it rains and pours on both sides. When things are going good, things are going good. So you have to keep your foot on the gas. When things are going bad, it's gonna be bad after bad after bad, loss after loss after loss, right? So if you have momentum right now in your life, things are going good. Do your best to keep that momentum. Do whatever it is to not lose it because once you lose it, it's gonna be almost impossible to get it back, right? It's mentally tough as well. It's mentally draining to start from scratch, right? So I kind of once I lost the momentum, I kind of just gave up on the agency thing because it just I was with the girl. We was going through so much shit. I couldn't get the momentum back, and then 2022 was like the worst year of my life. It was just empty. no purpose, no meaning. I went from being the self improvement monk mode agency owner, business owner, making making good money, to not doing anything, not making any progress in my life. 2022, me and her was going through a lot of stuff, up and downs, breakups, and all these things. We were together all the time, which is bad for relationships as well. You create a weird dynamic between each
Mm.
other. I wasn't
You need
doing
space.
anything, no space. We didn't have a life outside of the relationship. So basically, we weren't doing anything. She wasn't working. I wasn't working. We just were together, and a lot of bickering, a lot of bullshit going on, right? Um, and that lasted that whole year. That whole year that lasted. That whole 2022. That's why still to this day I say probably the worst year of my life. But
Mm.
2023, me and this girl ended up breaking up like the first half of 2023. Then the second half of 2023, I ended up starting this YouTube channel right after me and her broke up. And I was already posting like lessons on Instagram and on Twitter and stuff, like things that I've learned about diet, health, and all these things. And people were telling me like, hey, you should long form content. Like this is long form content. And at first I didn't want to, right? Just like
Mm.
everybody, I had the monkey brain of, okay, I'm not good on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, the monkey brain, right? I'm
Yeah.
not good on camera. I work better in the background. I don't want to be in the spotlight, etc. I didn't want to do it, but something just told me to do it. I started it, and yeah, I just started like,
You were coping.
yeah, I was coping,
Big time.
100% coping,
Yeah.
coping. I just jumped into it, started sharing my learning lessons, and from the moment I started for 3 months straight, I uploaded one video every single day, and I was able to get to 1,000 subscribers like that. Now I'm kind of changing up the strategy because I know what got me to 1,000 is not going to get me to 10K or 20K or
Mm.
100K. So, but yeah, that's a story, and now I'm here.
Amazing. And would you say that the breakup was your fuck this moment, like your turning
Hundred
point?
percent. It was the FTE that I needed and that every guy needs because heartbreak is the thing that's gonna turn a boy into a man. It's the thing that's gonna give you
Mm.
the energy that you need to become a true savage, right? Now you have your why, which is pain. At first, it's about making her regret her decision, her leaving you, because usually it's them leaving us, right, as guys. So at first, you go on this journey of making her regret it, showing her that she made the wrong decision. But then over time, it just turns into you. It's just about you now, like self love, self discipline, and turning into somebody that you never thought you could become. Most importantly, turning into somebody that you never could have been with her. So it's a great starting point for everybody.
Mm. You know, a man that has lost everything and's got nothing to lose is a menace, man. Yeah, you see it in the
100%.
gym when the one of the gym bros, breaks up.
Yeah,
He's a menace in the gym. He's just gonna
thanks.
pick up those weights. You're like, God damn, who hurt you?
Yep.
That's
The
deep. Yeah,
greatest the
sorry,
greatest
suggest.
gym gains I made was right after my breakup.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. No. Yeah. As you said, it takes from a kid to a man, and we need this suffering to be able to level up, not only as a man but as a human being. All right. And
You
it's
need FT. You need FTs.
yeah, absolutely. And it's funny how I said this earlier too, that it seems like society's been designed so that it's minimal suffering, right? We don't
Yep.
like to suffer nowadays. It's
Yep.
like, why suffer? And we've lost the meaning of suffering and how it was cherished back then. And now it's like, no, I'm cozy in my sofa with Netflix and my Ben and
Right.
Jerry's and my
Yeah.
pornography and blah
Yep.
blah. I don't want to suffer, just being complacent and
Yep.
indulging into instant gratification.
That's kind of what I was saying. The modern world, it, I 100% believe that every guy needs to have pain and suffering because it is unlimited emotions to be turned into yourself, becoming the best version of yourself. But the thing about the modern world is that it's easy. Right? It's not as hard anymore. You don't have it makes it almost impossible for you to have FTEs. Fuck this events, right?
Mm.
Where it is for people that don't know what FT is, it's an event so traumatizing that happens that it's just so painful that you're just willing to you get tired of where you are and you're just really ready to just drop everything and risk it all,
Mm.
right?
Well, where's this? Where did you hear this from? The concept of fuck this moments.
I actually
You know,
learned it from Hamza because he
yours
was
from
talking
Hamza.
about it
Oh yeah,
in
because
his
he was talking
videos.
about that. True. Yeah. You know what? I actually saw it from this. No, that
But it
makes
comes from
sense
a
now.
book.
Yes. So it's fine. Okay. So it's the same author. So I saw it from
Yes.
this book called Unscripted by MJ
Yep.
DeMarco,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Hamza keeps bragging about this book called Millionaire Fastlane. I think
Millionaire
it's called
Fascinating. Yeah.
by MJ DeMarco. So I guess it's the guy that came up. Well, maybe didn't come up with the concept, but at least made it popular.
Right.
So you saw it from Hamza. Okay, interesting. So no, it's absolutely vital.
Yeah, because I was there, right? So the thing what I was saying was the world makes it easy. Like if for example, if you're a young guy, right, and loneliness
Mm,
is one of the biggest things. If you're lonely, you don't have to you don't have to learn about social skills. You don't have to go out there and meet real people. You can just go play video
it's
games,
not needed
be a
anymore.
part of,
Yeah.
be a part of a clan,
Mm,
meet a whole bunch of different people. If you're sexually horny and you're sexually deprived of intimacy, you can
deprived.
just watch porn, right?
Mm,
So the world makes it easy, but that also comes with a lot of depression because
And you've got a hot take on depression, right?
yeah. So I just don't think it's a real.
It's real. It's not real.
It's not real.
Dive into that for me.
Yeah. So like we were saying before, when I talk about like depression, a lot of people think I'm just talking about Tate. And the thing is, the standards are so low for men is when you have an opinion, people automatically think you're trying to be like Tate. Bro,
Mm.
for the fucking betas out there, like even before I learned about Tate, like Tate was his biggest in 2022, 2023, 2021. I didn't know about who Tate was until basically the second half of last year. I didn't know who he was. So even when I was 20 years old, 21 years old, 19 years old, I've been had this point of view on depression and mental health. I would always say to myself and people around me, like, bro, why are people making such a big deal out of this? Like, yeah, it's a real thing. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not knocking it. But what do you do? What are you getting out of just constantly talking about it online? Like more doing, less talking, right? But this is why depression is so big because people just love talking. People love hearing their self yap. This is why I also have a big take on therapy. For guys, I don't think therapy is worth it because it's like, bro, for women, yeah, they that hearing themselves talk helps them. They just want to talk. They want to vent. But if you're like most guys, masculine guys, we get better off action, not talking. So less talking, more doing, right? But all these things give you excuses. You can say here, you can a person can say here, come up here and say, "Oh, I'm not working out because I'm depressed." No, you're depressed because you're not working out. I'm not living a good life because I'm depressed. The doctor told me I'm clinically depressed. No, bro, you're depressed. That's why you're not living.
So,
You're
so
not living a good
yeah.
life because you're depressed.
So you don't see it as a disease,
I
like
don't see
something
it
you
as.
can
I,
catch. It's
I
just
think it's a
something you
normal thing.
feel. Yeah, everybody feels
It's a
it.
normal thing. We feel sad. We feel emotions. We're human. It's just like I said, emotions are at the same time, like Tay says, unlimited energy. It can't be destroyed. So instead of putting that energy into believing something that serves you no purpose, right? Depression doesn't serve you any purpose. But people will argue to me and try to defend depression like it's their best friend. What do you like? What if you're depressed?
Yeah,
You're living like shit, right? Why are you trying to make me depressed too? Why are you trying to
yeah.
convince me that this is a real thing? Like, don't you want to feel like me? I don't. Why would I believe in something that doesn't serve me any purpose? It doesn't do anything
Mm,
good for me, right? Just like ghosts. Like I wouldn't if I'm in a haunted house, why would I just believe in the ghost? I'm just gonna
yeah,
say, okay, ghosts are not
yeah,
real, right? So
yeah. So you're not denying the existence of feeling depressed, but the action of actually thinking it's
believing
not
it,
real and believing that it serves you no purpose, and why believe in it if believing in it is gonna make things worse. I
you're
completely
just
agree.
giving more power.
Mm.
There's
It's
no
also
point of giving
the
power.
same way you said, like, oh yes, I'm depressed. I'm depressed. You're just reinforcing the limiting
Exactly.
belief of being depressed. There's this thing I've realized, especially this first year in university, is that I keep saying I'm bad with names, but the
Right.
action of keep saying I'm bad with names, I'm just gonna be shit
Yes.
with names, man. At
Yes.
some point you're gonna
Exactly.
have to be like, I should be like, no, I'm good with names, and actually focus when people actually shake my hand and be like, oh, my name's Drake, my name's
Yeah.
Jake, and not be like, yeah, well, I'm shit with names, I'm gonna forget anyway, right? It's the exact
Exactly.
same with depression. Like, if you keep being like, yeah, I'm depressed. Well, fuck, of course you're gonna be depressed, lad.
Of
Like,
course.
it's like,
You're gonna start to believe it. Like, yeah, I am depressed. You're right.
mm.
What you
saying like
say,
I'm a loser or I'm yeah. What you say to yourself, and I can't remember who says this, but you basically self hypnose yourself,
yep,
right? Self
yeah,
hypnosis, like giving these affirmations to yourself, like saying, "Oh, I'm a loser, I'm shit, oh, I'm depressed, I'm shit with names, etc." You're gonna be bad. Your brain is highly programmable, especially by yourself.
right,
But you can
and
take advantage of it, right? If you
exactly.
turn it around and say, "No, I'm good, I'm great, I'm," well, obviously you can't be like, "Oh, I'm rich," and bam, you're rich. It doesn't work
Right.
like that, right? But
But it
actually,
matters. But it
yeah,
matters.
but it absolutely matters. Um, so yeah, no, self beliefs are extremely powerful and extremely dangerous at the same time. I think that's what we can take out of that.
Yep. You said it best. I think there's
Amazing.
literally you said it.
um, and what I realize is that to go back to how society doesn't allow any suffering, is that if you look at all the recent innovations or inventions, 99% of them were made to make your life easier.
Yep.
Right. Like we created supermarkets so that you didn't have to, go to different farmers to grab your stuff. And then we created Uber. No, then we created restaurants so you could eat and not cook. And then we created fast food so you could eat faster. And then we created Uber so you don't even have to leave your flipping house to go get the food. So think of any invention, they've all been made to make your life easier. And in one way, I think it is a good thing, right? It depends of I guess the area of why it's making easier. I don't know if I've got an example like
third world countries, I guess you can.
yeah. Like if like creating a boat, it is easier now to try or like planes. It is easier now, but in a sense, it is very useful. But there's some stuff like especially like Uber and Uber Eats and all that stuff, like
it has its ups and downs for
yeah.
sure.
And I'm someone that's like I'm a big cook. Like I keep telling people to cook, learn how to cook. Because for me, it's a very like therapeutic session. Like I love just having my music on and just cooking. I just love it. And there's just so many people that don't know how to cut an onion, and they're just always relying on Uber Eats. And if it was healthy food, they'd be like, okay, but it's shit food too. So you're like, bruv, you're destroying yourself in every possible way. It's just completely mad.
People think when you go into the health rabbit hole is actually crazy because what the foods that you think are healthy aren't really healthy. And we were talking about earlier about Jordan Peterson, the carnivore diet, meat, and all that stuff. Like before, I used to think rice, chicken, vegetables was healthy, and this is probably a hot take. People are gonna listen to me and say, "What the fuck? You don't eat vegetables?" I don't fucking eat vegetables, bro. I don't. I haven't eaten a vegetable in years, and I feel the best I've ever felt. I look the best that I've ever felt. So you can say, okay, I'm eating out and I'm eating healthy food, but is it really healthy? It's not going to be as healthy as you just cooking it, which is a skill in itself.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's
Yeah, just for a tip for those that really want to eat healthily, even if it's not maybe in the extreme of a carnivore diet, just buy the food in its purest form.
Yep.
Buy the like literal ingredients. You go to the shops, it's all processed garbage, all ready-made shit, and there's like 50 ingredients. Like, bruv, what is monoxide, blah blah blah? You're like, what the fuck is that shit, bruv?
Red 40 and shit, right?
Yeah, and I'm unlucky because well, the UK isn't part of the EU now, but we didn't have Red 40 or all that stuff. It's like banned, right? Yeah. It's funny if you compare the foods in the UK and the US. Like if you take like I don't know even like ketchup or some other random stuff, that for the UK there's like this small of a list of ingredients. You go to the US, it's like that, and you're like, what are you adding in it? It's the same fucking food.
Is it, bro? A plant-based burger has like 100 ingredients. A beef burger just has beef, and you're gonna sit here and tell me veganism, plant-based, bro? It's just all dumb, bro. It's all retarded. It's all dumb.
No, it's mad. And now to stay in that topic, I wanted to dive into not self improvement. We are talking about self improvement. I meant social media and also pornography because I mean, Instagram all that is basically softcore porn now, right? I mean,
yes.
In the past years, you just scroll and there's boobs, and then you're like, what the fuck is this?
The gym
and
girls.
the app is allowed for like 13-year-olds, and usually the kids get even younger, right? I mean, my parents were. I'd say smart enough to allow me social media after like 13, 14. But there's some kids that have like TikTok at like 7, 8, 9. And
Man,
same
one
for
of my
pornography.
nephews.
Pornography is just so accessible. You fucking tap it in Google and it's there, right? And yes, okay, there's always, parental restrictions and stuff. But I mean, the kids find ways, right? I mean, I don't know if you've been exposed to pornography at a young age.
Yeah,
There's
it
always
was
ways around, man. And if it,
always.
it's just mad. So what's your experience with pornography and what's your take on it?
Yeah, I would like most guys. I experienced it. I first got my hands on it at a young age, probably like 12, 13. Honestly, there's kids now. I've heard that start from 7, 8 years old, as young as seven,
That's
8 years old.
messed
That's
up.
insane. If you think about it, and this is why it's so fucked, right? Because if you think about a king from 200 years ago, right?
I like this
That had
analogy. Yeah, go ahead.
that had 400 wives. There's like a lot of wives, right? Even he hasn't seen as much naked woman as a 7-year old from
I
today's
know.
world. That is literally fucked. It's
That
insane.
is absolutely mad. And
As far
people just
as
don't realize it, right? But like how it fucks up with your psyche and your mental health. You
yeah,
don't realize it, but on the long term, it just affects everything in your life, especially your relationships.
that the relationship is the biggest one because my story with pornography is and I apologize if people hear me sniffling. I woke up under the weather today, but
No reason.
um yeah, bro. Like when I first got my hands on it at 12, 13, whatever. That's when it started, and literally for a whole decade, I was just fapping 3, 4 times a day, every single day, up
A
until
little
like
monkey.
literally a little monkey, up until 21, 22, 23 years old. And bro, I was in a relationship still fapping. Like I was in a relationship with a beautiful woman that gave me sex anytime that I want because we were in a committed relationship, and I was still like
You still felt the need to fap.
that's how strong the addiction was. They just bro,
Mm.
they have you like by the balls. That's these companies have you by the balls, right? Um, yeah, like you said, the damaging parts of your brain, your mental health, like it. What people don't realize is that when you watch porn, one, you're training your body to release right away, right? And that comes with performance anxiety because now you get in a real life situation, you can't last as long, you can't get it up, ED, all these things, right? Performance anxiety comes. That comes from the poor mental health. But also you training yourself, you're basically the guy you're enjoying watching other people have sex instead of your own.
That's
You're
messed
watching
up.
the alpha fuck the woman that you would want. Like that's what you're training your brain to enjoy. The dopamine problems that come with it. Dopamine works in an interesting way. Dopamine is responsible for motivation, satisfaction, and pleasure. But you've watched porn so much, you've burnt your dopamine receptors so much that now you need exotic videos to get excited. Now the normal
Exotic
videos don't get
videos.
now the normal videos don't, and we've all been there. Don't cope. We've all been there.
No. I know.
No, like for the audience, right? For the
Yeah.
audience, don't cope.
Yeah,
Now,
first it's like the softcore stuff, like homemade, and then
yep.
it going up, and then it's like this professional, like 20 camera setup, interracial stuff. You're like, what the fuck? Like,
There's a
you're
fucking
like, oh no shit.
the
Like,
20 guy
yeah,
gangbang and stepmom porn and all this shit, right? So like we've all been there, and it fries your satisfaction and pleasure levels, but it also fries your motivation levels. That dopamine is responsible for motivation. The more you fry it, now you're less motivated to do hard things, and this is probably a big reason why so many people are depressed. So many people are depressed, anxious, because they're just not motivated to do anything anymore. They fry their dopamine
yeah, they
receptors
just feel
so much.
worthless. And even outside of the whole that, like, how can you feel proud of yourself and purposeful when you just fap this morning before going to school? And I mean, even if and realistically, it's not like your friends are gonna smell the fact that you've done it, but the fact that you've fapped this morning, your self-worth goes down and your self-confidence loses a bit, and people can see that, and it just fucks you up, man. It's absolutely awful.
100%. That was actually my the point that I was getting into now. You turn into a weirdo, right? Like The biggest benefit by far from NoFap and not watching porn anymore, overcoming that addiction. Yeah, you get more confident, you get stronger, you get. I'm not gonna say women smell the semen on you, but you get more confidence. You can hold eye contact now. You can give firm handshakes, right? But the biggest benefit is the self image boost that comes from it. When you fat, you start to look at yourself like a loser, and our self image dictates everything that we do. Our emotions, our feelings, and our behaviors. Most importantly,
Yeah,
how we see ourselves
unconsciously.
is
Yeah,
how we act in the real world. So we see ourselves as a loser, we're gonna act like that in the real world. This is why you can't hold eye contact. This is why you can't talk to a beautiful woman without looking away, without getting nervous, without shaking and being anxious, right? So it just I don't understand why so many people out there that try to defend it, but no matter what
and that's the
you
worst.
hear,
People actually defend that.
yeah,
Same for
no matter
depression.
yeah, exactly. People will always defend their addiction. It's the same thing with video games and weed. Always, people defend their addiction because they don't want to feel as bad, and they want you to come on the sinking ship with them, right?
Do you wanna know the biggest cope is like they always say for all those examples, hey, I stop when I want, man. I can stop whenever I want. Yeah,
Right,
clearly,
right.
clearly.
That's the biggest one you hear. Like, bro, just all right, then stop then. Stop right
Yeah,
now.
but why? Like, I just want to, just a bit more. But I could stop tomorrow. I could stop now, but I won't.
I've heard it before. I used to be that one.
We all have.
So yeah, it's very very damaging to society. I think it's one of the biggest downfalls of probably the whole world, honestly, because it's big
Mm.
everywhere now. It's not just the West.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I don't know how it's not banned, honestly. And as I said, I think France is looking into banning it. I haven't looked into it that much. I think I've just heard it like from a cousin. I guess he was like, "No, it's
Hopefully,
getting banned." Like, bro, shut
oh
the
my
fuck
god.
up.
Hopefully they do.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely mad. You mentioned stopping fapping, so stop masturbating.
Yeah.
That's a big topic on your channel, I've realized, and I think it's been the best performing videos on your channel too. So there's been an interest in actually, no, and it was a big trend back. I think it was like a year ago or two. It was like a big thing of especially with November.
Yeah. No one know, remember.
It's a big thing, yeah. So what's your experience with NoFap and semen retention, which are two separate things, and what are the benefits you got from it?
Yeah, so like I said, no, I've basically my whole life I was fapping like 3, 4 times a day. Then I learned about no fap semen retention, and 23 when I was 23, I finally like tried to start it, right? And like everybody, I started it, I relapsed, started, I relapsed, but then I was able to go 8 months completely no fap, right? Then I relapsed again. Like I documented all of this in my YouTube channel, but the biggest benefit is not now is just something that I don't count the days anymore. I don't really care about it anymore. I kind of just live my life now. That's the biggest advice that I give in my videos. Don't count the days, instead make the days count, because the biggest way to overcome your porn addiction, stop fapping and all these things is just to not care about it. Like if you're constantly caring about it, you're constantly thinking about it, you're constantly counting your days.
Mm,
Oh, I'm on day 15, I'm on day 20. Like you're more likely to relapse because
you're like
it's right there.
obsessing. Yeah, the fact of obsessing over the numbers makes you over obsess on the thing you're trying to stop.
Right, exactly. Obsessing over your streak is just going to cause you to relapse, and this is why I'm not a big fan of like the no-fap YouTubers, because they literally just make you obsess over it. Like, oh, this is the woman are going to smell the semen on you. The confidence that, like, yeah, bro, you do get all those benefits, but it's not the biggest benefit, and all those things is just going to make you obsess over it. Instead, do it for the self-image boost. Do it for how you start to see yourself, and the way to do that is just to not care about it. Just live your life. Like no fap is not something that I do anymore. It's just who I am. I don't see myself as a person that faps, so I won't fap anymore because that's just beneath me. I don't do that anymore. Same way as I see myself as an athlete. If you see yourself as an athlete, you won't eat certain foods. If you in one of my best performance videos, I mentioned this story, right? For anybody that's struggling with this as well, this is the best advice that I can give. If you have two guys, right? There's guy A, he goes to a party and he says, okay, they offer him a drink and he says, no, I'm trying to stop drinking right now. I'm trying to go sober, etc., right? And guy B, he gets offered a drink as well, and he simply says, no, I don't drink. Who you think is more likely to not? drink. Guy B, because he simply just he doesn't drink anymore. That's just not what he does. It's beneath him. But if you see yourself as a guy that's trying to drink, trying to do no fab, trying is you're trying, but you keep failing. So that's the biggest advice that I can give for anybody that's trying to get on no fab. Just see yourself as somebody that doesn't fab. Don't obsess over it. Don't count the streaks. Live your life, and instead of counting the days, make the days count. As far as semen retention, I think everybody should do no fab, and that's basically just not fapping, not watching porn, right? It's just essential, especially for self improvement and living a better life as a man. As far as semen retention is just not releasing anything, right? Not engaging in any sexual activity. You can engage in sexual activity, but just not finishing, right? Not ejaculating, which is called abstinence. I think everybody should try that at one point in their life.
There's a testosterone boost in that, right?
Yeah, it increases. All right, I forgot about that. It increases testosterone by 400% if you engage in sexual
Absolutely
activity
mad.
and not ejaculate. It's very hard,
It's very
but
hard.
it's possible through properly breathing and all these things, right? The Way of the Superior Man talks about it. If you read that book,
Absolutely, David Dida.
yeah, right. So personally, semen retention, I did it for 3 months, but I didn't do anything at all, cold turkey, and it's the strongest that I've ever felt. Literally the strongest, because you have to think about it, like your sex drive is energy. The hornier you are, the more energetic you'll feel. But if you're constantly ejaculating, you're constantly fapping, you're constantly releasing, you're signaling to your evolutionary part of your body that the job is finished, because we have two core desires inside of us: to survive, shelter, food, water, etc., and to reproduce, have sex, and have a bunch of kids. So if you're constantly wasting that, you're telling your brain, okay, the job is done. We can relax now. We can chill. That's all. I just posted this on my YouTube the other day. The reason that the average modern man struggles to make progress in life is because he has empty balls and a full stomach. It's simple. It's as simple as that. That's why fasting and semen retention.
You posted that on the post, I think. I think I saw
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
exactly.
I saw
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
that's why fasting, being hungry all the time, and semen retention, having full balls, not releasing, is just it turns you into a very powerful guy. So
Mm.
yeah, I think I answered you.
I'd like to challenge that. So I completely agree with what you're saying. I can't remember who said that. Maybe it was Hamza. Maybe someone else. They actually challenged that by saying, if you do not engage into any sexual activity, if it's fapping or sexual intercourse, for an extended period of time, and you don't really put any importance onto that, you actually end up not desexualizing yourself. Or actually, I think they did say desexualizing yourself in a sense where you're not horny anymore, and you basically lose this power. What do you think of that?
I think I actually saw that as well. I seen a couple people talk about that. That after a certain period of time, semen retention is not really useful anymore. I mean, I guess like after a certain period of time, if you feel like it's not useful for you anymore, then okay. Like as long as you're engaging in sexual activity with another person and you're not fapping, I will never believe that
Yeah,
masturbating is normal. I don't think you should ever do it, right? And I don't think it's something that's healthy, unlike most people. But
yeah, but the school said it's healthy.
right, the school says it's healthy. The media says it's healthy. Just never let like I don't care what anybody says. I will never believe that touching yourself to two people having sex is normal. It's just not a normal thing.
Okay, but then if you take out the porn out of it and just masturbating with your own imagination, you see that as bad too?
I seen the Fresh and Fit guys talk about that. They because their advice is to not date when they're young.
I forgot about them.
Right. I don't watch them. I don't watch them.
Yeah,
But I've seen a clip about them. Because their advice is don't date when you're young. Instead, focus on yourself. But if you, at the end of the day, like we're sexual beings, right? If you do get horny, masturbate really quick. My problem with that is why waste all that? I see that as energy. I no longer just see it as orgasm. So it's like why waste it? Why not just hold it in? Like eventually, if you're working on yourself and your self improvement like a true savage, because there's two self improvements, right? There's two guys. One that's the guy A, he's okay, like he's doing self improvement, but then there's guy B that's just a complete savage. He's waking up and doing. He's just a complete savage in self improvement, right? That guy, the better he gets, the more he'll attract. In an unfiltered way, pussy is gonna come on the table. So just wait it out. Like you don't have to be a monkey and just touch yourself all the time, right? So I don't think you should masturbate at all. I think
okay.
pussy's gonna come and you should just
And
wait it out.
so Okay, so you say that
Yeah.
you shouldn't masturbate, but it's fine if you go into sexual intercourse. That's what you're saying, basically. And then
Yeah.
it's fine to waste your energy there.
No, 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 no.
I'm just
I,
trying
I,
to dig you into what you're saying.
no, yes, that's completely fine. Let me explain it. If you're in a relationship or if you're, engaging with a partner, right? Of course, if you want to do semen retention, you shouldn't be ejaculating all the time, period. Because, like you said, ejaculation makes you weak. So it is hard, but you should still practice abstinence and semen retention, even with a partner, right? Just because all that energy is energy. But that's much better than just fapping and watching porn, in my opinion. Casual sex, I do think is degeneracy. I think sex should be meaningful. I think sex should be sacred. But even that is a little better than watching porn, and they're both bad. But if I had to choose which one's worse, it would be masturbation and porn.
No, I completely agree. Completely agree. To go back to porn and well, obviously I made the link with social media earlier, where social media now the content you find on it, 99% of it is just shit. Either it's softcore porn, either it's just mindless. I don't even know how to qualify it. It's just random weird shits, and obviously it makes you laugh, right? And it's instant gratification, like haha. And then obviously you're scrolling because honestly you gotta imagine this. These social media companies, especially Meta, they invest millions, if not billions, of dollars every year to research how to keep you hooked on these reels and to invest into that algorithm. And honestly, and I'll give you this little story which I found fascinating is that I had this Nokia, so you know what the Nokia is, Nokia 3310. It's those little phones before the smartphones, basically, like a flip phone, but it doesn't flip. Anyway, it's those phones in the early 2000s or end of the 90s. I had that because someone stole my phone. Long story. And I wanted to challenge myself. I was like, let's just grab this phone. There's no distraction on it. I mean, I can only text and take pictures with it, and the pictures were so shitty. But I mean, it was pretty fun. And I had that for like a period of 8 months. And it was great. Absolutely loved it. And I wasn't in contact with social media. I did still watch YouTube on the side, but obviously the access to it is way more difficult. And obviously I didn't
Yeah.
go onto social media. I got a new phone in January 2023. The moment I installed these apps back on, I was instantly hooked. Even though I wasn't exposed to it for 8 months. So it absolutely shows you how freaking addictive it is.
Yeah.
Like
There's
it's
thousands of
mad.
like computer nerds. Just that's their job.
That's
These
their
guys. These
job
people are
to hook you
much smarter than us, and that's their job to basically turn us brain dead.
to get you hooked up on. Yeah, I just found it fascinating how honestly 10 months of no access or extremely limited access, and in the second you're just hooked again. And when I realized, I was like, shit, me, like, god damn,
That's how
So it just shows how
stimulating
addictive it
it
is.
is. Yeah.
So so it all leads up to what are your thoughts of current social media, and what would you do to change the current outlook of it?
I think there's a way that social media improves your mental health, and it's by engaging instead of just consuming. So if you're getting on there and you're posting, you're engaging, you're DMing, you're all these things, business opportunities, relationship opportunities, whatever. I think that actually improves your mental health, in my opinion, right? There's actually studies out there that say that as well, because you're using it for something meaningful. But if you're just on there mindlessly scrolling, that ruins your mental health. That actually makes you brain dead in some way, right? I think social media is a powerful tool if you use it the right way. I think everybody should try to document their journey. I think everybody should try to use social media to build something, create. But if you're just on there consuming, I honestly, like, the advice that I give, I say, if you're gonna be on there, you're gonna be doing something. Fine, have social media. If you're not doing anything, just delete it. And then the cope comes. The cope of, oh, but I don't have to be. I don't have to be creating. I don't have to be doing this. But it's like, bro, so why are you on social media then? For what? Because there's no benefits from you being on there, if you're not using it, if you're not utilizing it, what's coming? Poor mental health is coming. You're comparing to other people, because that's another thing. Social media is like a highlight. It's a highlight reel. You're comparing your worst to people's best. People rarely post their negatives on social media. So it is, and for people that say, oh well, you can just get on social media and not compare yourself. Comparing is inevitable, bro. It's human. It's human. It's human.
It's subconscious. You just, yeah,
It's gonna
you see
happen
it.
regardless.
Mm.
So
So
what I would do to
become a creator, not a consumer.
become a creator, not a consumer, if you think about it, all, in my opinion, all men should document themselves. All men, because we live in an attention economy. The people that can get the most attention will make the most money, and the more money you make, the more things you can do. The more lanes open for you. You can retire your parents. You can live a better life. You can provide for your family and all these things, right? The if you think about what I was gonna say, if you think about women, right, and I said this before, they have all the opportunities, right? They have business opportunities, they have relationship opportunities, they have all these things, and it's because their shit is always on display. They're in the spotlight. They have all their gifts, their beauty, the boobs, the tits. They have it out there. They have it in the spotlight, and they gain all the attention. That's why all these gym girls. It's so easy for gym girls to build a following. It's 100% so easy, right? But guys don't do it as much. There's not many guys out there that put their shit on display as much as women. And the guys that do it, you see the benefits that they get from it. Iman Gaji, look at the benefits that he get from just building a personal brand. Tate, Connor, Hamza, like you see what comes from it. So that's overall my opinion. I think every man should document themselves. But if not, just honestly, bro, just get off social media.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard,
And
but
yeah, not clearly. It is clearly hard, but dopamine detox.
dopamine
And I
detox.
was thinking of that earlier again. Is that then you've got this paradox of if everyone that consumes goes off, all the creators, or everyone becomes a creator, there's no more consumers.
There,
Um,
there will
so
always be
what's
consumers.
your thought on
Always.
that?
There will always be consumers because
Because so
this.
you
I
think
think
there's
there's
always going to be these people that just go ahead.
no. Yeah. There's. I do think there's always gonna be consumers. I don't think you're ever gonna be able to take that away. I like just like I think there's always
And
gonna be people that work at McDonald's that are garbage workers and all these things, or teachers. There's always gonna be teachers. There's always gonna be doctors. You can't take that away.
you did just compare McDonald's worker to a teacher. That's pretty bad. No, I'm kidding. I'm
No,
kidding.
I
Um,
think
yeah,
uh,
no respect to them, but yeah, I see what you
respect
mean.
to them. Yeah,
I see what you mean. Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Which is sort of sad. When it not the teacher, but but when it comes to the social media, and there's always going to be consumers, which is inevitable.
yeah.
Which is sad because I'd prefer not, but it is what it is. So I see what you mean. Play the game. If it's there, it's there. Take advantage of it.
Bro, if you're gonna be a part of the game, you might as well try to win it, right?
Exactly. That's what I've been told. A lot of my friends, they like this whole entrepreneurial self-improvement capitalist ideas, right? But I'm like, and they've got these very crazy ideas of how society should be and how it should be perfect, etc. But I'm like, bro, it is not. So unless you play the game, and you try to make the most out of it, or you keep dreaming in your bedroom and be like, oh, if the world was full of flowers and gentle people, but it's not. So wake the fuck up and get to work.
Exactly. Especially,
That's right.
that's the best advice that you can give them. Especially, especially as a guy. One of my best performing videos is titled "Men Shouldn't Live a Happy Life" because I believe we shouldn't. I believe life for a man is very difficult. It's about making like one of the biggest takes that I have, and I actually was I was talking to my family about this yesterday because my sister had came over. It was like a family gathering, and she disagrees with some of my points, right? So we were kind of like going back and forth. But one of the things that she disagreed with the most is that how I say that life for women is much easier than it is for men. Women are born with, and you've heard other guys talk about this. Women are born with value. Their beauty is their value. Like what woman can grow old, grow 18, 25, 26, have no job, no skills, no anything, and a man can just scoop them up and change their life, fly them out to Dubai, do this, do that. Who's doing that for a guy?
Mm. Yeah,
Nobody's doing that for you.
men's got to create their own value and their own self worth.
You got to create your own value, your own self worth. Nobody's coming to save you, right? No magic pill. And this it goes back to depression. No magic pill you take is gonna solve all your problems, right? So instead of like kind of in some way, bitching about how hard life is, kind of go through life like the way the Superior Man says, with a like just penetrating the world, just like you penetrate your woman in some
Yeah,
way. David Dita says that.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there was a chapter. I completely agree, man. And people that say, but yeah, but you know, um, like what was it? But happiness is great, and you want to pursue happiness and be happy all the time. But that's just hedonistic, man. And there's if you just continue trying to pursue happiness, you're going into hedonism, and you won't find any fulfillment in it. And that's where instant gratification comes from. Because but I want to be happy now. Then I'll eat that ice cream, or I'll watch that movie now, or I won't do that now because I want to do this instead because I'll be happy then. But that's not how, and people don't want to be sad, people don't want to suffer, but like, these emotions are there for a reason. And it's funny because that's what Michael Fricker told me when we had our episode together, is that, well, in his words, is that God gave us emotions for a reason, and we should learn to understand and in some way appreciate and feel them as much as we can when they are given to us. So if you're sad, feel the sadness, why you're sad, where it comes from, and utilize, as you said, use these emotions, anger, sadness, even happiness, to strive towards goals. I think that's one of the biggest pillars of stoicism, is controlling your emotions and beaming them into something meaningful. And that's beautiful. And people are like, yeah, but no, happiness, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, bro, whatever.
No,
If you don't want to take my advice, sure.
that's the whole point of being a man. Feeling your emotions and still doing the right thing. Feeling like the whole point of being a man is, you don't want to go to the gym today, still do it. You don't want to hug your girl and tell her you love her today, still do it. You don't want to eat clean and stay clean on your diet today, still do it. The whole point of being a man is feeling your emotions, listening, like feeling them, but not listening to them, not letting them dictate your actions. So you're still feeling what you feel, but still doing what's right.
You know what we say: do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.
Exactly. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.
Especially.
Going back to what you were saying about, because you made a good point about instant gratification and choosing a happy life. This is a topic that I feel like should be talked about more, and I feel like this topic wasn't really talked about as much in the men's space until Tate came around, and this is one of the things that I respect most about him, because I 100% agree with what he says. Men should strive more for proudness and being proud of themselves. When you feel proud of yourself, you're doing the right things. When you're chasing happiness, you're doing all the instant gratification habits, because porn gives you pleasure now. Junk food gives you pleasure now. Video games, all these things give you pleasure now. They make you happy now, but they make your life worse in the long run. Instead, if you fall in love with delayed gratification, doing all the hard things that feel hard now, but make your life better in the long run, going to the gym, meditating, journaling, reading, building a business, posting online for social media, whatever. These things feel hard now, but they make you feel proud of yourself. And when you feel proud of yourself, you feel like you're living a meaningful life.
Feeling proud as a man, I think, is one of the best feelings a man can have. Like feeling proud.
I think feeling proud,
or
making
even
progress, and feeling respected is probably top
yeah,
three.
exactly. I was gonna say respected in the sense of people are proud of you, like especially like if it's your dad or your parents or your wife. If they're proud of you and you feel it, that's just the best feeling. And by the way, I just want to clarify: we are not saying don't be happy, be depressed all the time, suffer all the time. No, obviously no. We're not. We're just saying don't make happiness the end goal. It's going to be part of the journey, but what's also part of the journey is suffering and sad and anger but there's happiness is a big part of it, and embrace it 100%. But it's not the end goal.
You aren't going to be happy most of the time, because if you're chasing happiness, it's something that like you're going to expect it. But as a man, life is not easy. Life is not. Most of it is just struggling and suffering. Like the men on the Titanic, they weren't happy. They jumped in the ocean to die for their woman, their family. They weren't happy. Men that go to war, they aren't happy, but they're proud of themselves.
I wanted to dive now into. So there's been it sort of ties to what we've been saying earlier, right? But there's in these recent years there's been this big um, thing called toxic masculinity,
Mhm.
right?
Big one, right?
And I just
Top
wanted
G
to
made it.
just wanted your exactly. I just wanted to know your thoughts on this toxic masculinity and what are some of the misconceptions about masculinity or traditional values of masculinity there is, and how you address them in your content.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think there's no such thing. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity because masculinity is about protecting, providing, emotional control, all these things that makes a man a good man. That's what masculinity is, you know. So as far as how I portray it, before I get into that, the reason why I think the reason why society tries to kind of shame masculinity and trying to shame men for being men in some ways, right? Call it
Mm.
toxic is because when you're masculine, you're uncontrollable. That's the thing about having high testosterone as well. You become uncontrollable. But you know, society wants controllable men that kind of just follow everything that society's telling them to do. Go to school, go to get a normal job, retire at 65. Video games is okay. It keeps us controlled. Porn keeps us controlled, right? So when you start
Docile.
prioritizing becoming more masculine, becoming more of a man, you become uncontrollable. And uncontrollable men are dangerous, right?
In what way? In the way that you can't control yourself, or people can't control you?
People can't control you. You do
Okay.
what you want to do. If you want to
Okay,
start a
but
business,
you can control yourself.
no, yeah. The whole point of masculinity is stoicism.
Yeah,
Like,
and
right?
self control and
The whole,
controlling your emotions.
exactly, right? The traditional side of masculinity is what everybody talks about, right? The protecting, the providing, being strong, being fit, having emotional control, being a leader, all these things, right? But there's a spiritual side to masculinity as well, and that's becoming unchangeable, becoming present, becoming conscious, right? If you're a guy and you watch all these podcasts, right? These fresh and fit podcasts, you watch Tate, even Tate, email, whatever, and you let them change your opinion on something, change who you are. That's not true masculinity because true masculinity is becoming unchangeable, becoming still, where you're just still, right? You're rock. I hope that makes sense. As far as how I portray it in my content, there's a couple ways. Specific? Is there any specific questions you have on that? Like
No,
what
no,
specific? Right?
absolutely no. No, just it's an open question.
Right. So the biggest one is probably relationship wise, where uh I think tradition being the traditional man in the relationship is extremely important. You know, protecting, providing, paying for dinner. None of this 50-50 uh, low testosterone bullshit. Opening the door, opening the seats, making sure she gets home safe. Even pleasing her in sexually, all these things, right? But also there's other things that I talk about that's not about relationship. What about competition? Competition is a part of masculinity. Competition is shame these days. Competition is like, oh, I'm in competition with myself and I don't care about what anybody else is doing. That's fine, bro. If that's how you want to think, then okay, you're gonna lose to a guy like me that understands that life is a competition for the woman, for the cars, for the money, for everything. Everything that you want, another guy out there's wanted as well, and
I
you
think
have
yeah,
to be
but yeah, both are important.
right, and you have to be willing to either take it from them or get it before they get it. So competition is a huge part of masculinity, but it's something that has been shamed these days. I don't know why. It's so popular these days to just say I'm in competition with myself, right? Another part that I talk about is the obsession that comes with goals and progress, right? Nowadays in the media and Hollywood, they kind of make it seem like intimacy and relationships and love is like the most important thing. Fall in love, have kids, and honestly, I'm not knocking it. It is very, very important for a masculine guy. You need that loving side to you, right? Like I do agree with I forgot who said this, but I do agree that masculinity you have to have both sides to you. You have to be able to be dangerous, but also like the example was you have to be able to slit somebody's throat, but also hold the baby the same day. I think that is masculinity. You have to have both sides to you, but the world makes it seem like relationship, love, intimacy is the most important thing. If you read The Way of the Superior Man, that's not the case. The priority for a masculine guy's life is purpose. It's progress, goals, mission. But society also shames us for that as well. Women also shame us for that as well. They make it seem like we're obsessed, we're selfish, and all these things. I know you've heard it before. Like, why are you so selfish? Why are you so goal driven? Why are you so? Because it's the only thing that fulfills us, and most people don't understand that. We can be in a happy relationship. We can have kids. We can have a good family. All these things, but if we're not feeling like we're waking up, chasing purpose, making progress, becoming better, we'll always feel empty inside. Because purpose is the priority for the masculine. Love and intimacy is the priority for the feminine. Right? It's just we're different. That's how it is. Right? It's one. That's also one of the biggest things that I talk about in my content as far as masculinity. I'm
Uh,
pretty sure there's other ways I just can't think of right now. I think those are the most important ones, though,
hmm,
from my opinion.
that's good. I know you're a big advocate for the gym, right? I
one
see
Hundred
it
percent.
all the time. Well, how did you get into the gym? And yeah, let's stop let's stop there.
I started working out probably 2020. I want to say started with my big cousin, and one day honestly he was already a bodybuilder, so he was posting and doing all these things. I was like, yo, this looks cool. I want to start working out. I was getting into the age where everybody around me was starting to work out. But bro, honestly, from 2020 to 2021 to 2022, it was kind of inconsistent. 2023 was like probably the first year that I was consistent, and then I really started seeing progress. Right, the second half of 2023, when I started this YouTube channel, that's when I really started seeing progress. And there's no surprise that that came right after the breakup. Right after that breakup came the YouTube channel, and also a lot of opportunities that I didn't know before. I changed my diet, I changed my workout routine, my workout splits, everything. Right, I when I first started working out until last year, I did the gym. I did everything, right? The splits, the be at the gym 6 times a week, the back shoulder or like legs, the splits, right? The popular
Yeah,
splits. And I also
the
tried the, the
bro split.
the bro splits, right? And I've also tried the gym bro diets, right? The white rice, chicken, vegetables, right? For so long, I thought like that was the best way until I found that now I kind of switched everything, bro. And it wasn't until I switched everything that I started seeing progress. Now I work out 3 times a week, and each time that I lift is full body. So I hit each body part one time, right? And the reason I switched over to this because it gave me flexibility, right? I box as well. I do kettlebell workouts. So it just makes it fun. Like I don't have to be in the gym 6 times a day. I don't have to lift every day. I kind of just the reason that I was in the gym 6 times a day, about 6 times a week before, is because for you to grow a muscle, you have to hit it at least 2 times, right? 2 to 3 times volume, for volume, frequency, all that stuff, right? But now I'm hitting each body part 3 times, and I'm in the gym less.
And how do you spread it on the week?
Like just certain days.
Yeah.
So this is basically a routine right now. Monday I'll do kettlebell workouts. So today I did some kettlebell workouts.
Do you do like the
Uh,
intense like full
yeah,
body kettlebell? Yeah.
squats, swings, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's tough, but
To
it's
make
fun.
you sweat. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Tuesday I'll lift. Wednesday I'll do kettlebells. Thursday I'll lift. Friday I'll either do kettlebells, I'll run, I'll box, spar, all these things. Then Saturday I'll lift. So my last day lifting is on Saturday, and this is another benefit that comes from it. My last day lifting is Saturday. The next day I lift is Tuesday. So before, when I was in the gym 6 times a week, it became repetitive, and it's easy to lose the drive and the hunger for the gym when you're in there every single day. But now, bro, I'm itching on Sunday and Monday to lift because my last time lifting was Saturday. So now it makes you look
Mm.
forward to the lift now. It makes it fun. Here's the thing: for some people, the gym is their safe space. That's where they're at all day because it's their safe space. Whatever, right? If that's you, fine. My strategy is for people that want to become flexible and want to have something else outside of the gym. For example, if you're starting a YouTube channel, it gives me more time to put into my YouTube channel. It gives me more time to learn how to box, to do other workouts, and not just be lifting all day, right? So I completely switched that up, and it's been working for me up until this point. As far as diet, like I said, I've tried the gym bro diet and all these things. Now I just completely switched over to carnivore slash keto.
Mm.
So I kind of just 90% of my calories come from just high protein, high fat, meat, eggs, and it's high fat. So like it's ribeyes, 80-20 ground beefs, chicken thighs, not no fucking chicken breasts, right? Not no chicken
Chicken thighs
breasts,
are the best, bro. When it's nice
bro.
and oh.
They're the best, bro. The
Did you
best.
oven cook them or do you fry them on a pan?
I overcook them. Sometimes
They like it nice and crispy.
yeah. Sometimes I'll fry them on the pan, but
Mm.
oven cook is so much better. But yeah, it's chicken thighs, ground beef, ribeyes, lots of eggs. So I eat about 6 to 8 eggs a day. Lots and
I
lots
saw
of
that. Yeah,
eggs.
I eat at least minimum 3, 4 a day.
Yeah, eggs are super food, right?
Yeah,
Super food.
morning wood.
Right. And then 15 to 20% of my calories come from easily digestible carbs, so fruit, raw honey, maple syrup, potatoes here and there. That's basically it. And for me, like, bro, I don't get no brain fog. I don't experience no afternoon crashes. My energy is like here the whole day, and it stays here. It doesn't. Excuse me. You know those fucking Starbucks workers that they experience. It hits 1 p.m. and they're like, I feel sluggish. I don't fucking experience that when I'm just eating meat and high fat, right? A lot of butter,
Mm.
eggs, steak, and all that stuff. So brain clarity, no brain fog. I feel the most energetic I've ever felt. Like I said, I do full bodies, and in between full bodies, I do superset and drop sets. That's very hard to do if you've ever tried it.
Mm.
So yeah, that's basically the diet right now. That's
Okay,
basically the gym workout, the gym splits right now.
just play. Okay, so it's interesting because you're still active every day. It's just that you lift 3 times a week.
I train every day. I don't really believe in rest days.
And how long are your sessions then? If you train your whole body,
Say it again.
how long are your gym sessions if you train the whole body?
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. I train hard in the superset, so it's usually like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like when I'm
Okay.
training with my boys, it's usually like two hours because you talking and stuff.
Yeah.
But usually an hour and a half.
Okay.
Really,
And
like
no, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. And what do you make of the connection between physical fitness and mental health?
That's a good question. It's the priority. Strong body, strong mind. I think that's the best way that I can explain it. If you're not physically presentable, you won't be strong up here. It's just it and also like going back to the masculine thing, having a fit body, a good physique is the one of the main pillars of masculinity. Like you need to have a fit body. If you're I had a recent video that did pretty well, and it's titled 90% of men have sexy wide hips. It was a funny title, but
Yeah, I saw that. I
uh,
didn't watch the video, but I thought it was funny. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
but in there I was just saying how like bro, like if you're a guy and like your priority should be working out. It should be getting into good shape by far. It's the main thing because it's the main for me. It's been the main domino that has knocked down other bigger dominoes. So I'm a type of person where if I get physical movement in, I'm exercising, I feel good physically, I'll feel good mentally. Now I'm sharp, I don't have brain fog, I'm getting work done easily, etc. etc. So yeah, that's kind of my take on that.
Okay. So you're saying that if you strong body, the sharp mind will follow,
Yeah,
basically. And if you had to prioritize one, it would be the body because again, it does
yeah,
the mind
it'll be help.
follows with it.
It'll
Okay.
be help. It'll be help because all your success financially it comes from how good you operate, and your body comes from
Yeah, it's
how
your
good you
machine.
operate. Right,
Mm.
it comes from how healthy you are. So
You're sharpen the tool. I saw that your motto is better the world by bettering yourself, and inspiration creates action takers, right?
yes,
I just want to know where that came from, and then I've got a couple of questions about it.
um, I I don't want to take credit for it because I think that it is a big quote. Better the world, better yourself. But the inspiration creates action takers. That kind of just came from everything that I've seen. So the more better that I get in my life, the more I see people around me want to get better as well because they just get inspired by me. Like, oh, this guy is you're looking good, you're doing good. Like now I want to go to the gym. Now I want to do this, I want to do that. My relationship was like that as well. She was, before I came into her life, she was struggling to go to the gym and all these things. It was like when you're with a guy that's going to the gym, that's doing all these good habits, it's kind of easy for you to do all these things because you're around them all the time. You get inspired, right? So my whole point
Yeah,
with
your
that is
environment dictates you.
exactly right. My whole point is I don't. The reason I say inspiration creates action takers is because I don't believe you should force anybody to do anything, and it doesn't work, right? It just doesn't work. Like you can force people. People move on their own time. You can force people to go to the gym and start doing this, start doing that, but they won't do it unless they want to do it. And the biggest way to get them to want to do it is just to lead by example. You lead by example, people are going to see that and they're going to start getting inspired. And once they get inspired, they're going to want to take action for themselves.
Mm. It's funny because then some people would like argue that focusing solely on personal betterness or betterment could lead to self-centeredness and individualism, rather than like a collective progress. So how would you address the concerns that emphasizing self-improvement might distract from broader efforts to create positive change in society or in the world?
Yeah, I mean, bro, honestly, I think better society starts with self improvement. If you
Better
had more,
individuals.
yeah, do you agree?
Yeah, no, I'm open. I'm listening.
No, no, yeah,
No,
I was just
that's it. That's it. Yeah. Okay.
no, no, no. I was just wondering because it is a topic that a lot of people might they don't agree. I do think if more people were on self improvement, less crime would happen and a lot of like less violence would happen. A lot of less things would happen if more people would just get on this journey of healing, self growth, personal growth. Like if you think about it, bro, and this is one of my captions as well on Instagram, one of my pin posts, is that like we inherit a lot, bro. Like as young people, we inherit a lot from our parents. Or a lot of people have been through rough childhoods, environments, all these things, and you know the only answer to all those things is going on your own self improvement journey, going on your own healing process. Right? You better yourself. You better the world. It's just that simple. But it's just hard. It's hard. A lot of people aren't willing to go
No.
through
Yeah.
that journey because it is hard,
No.
and
I
it's
completely agree. No, it's just because some people would argue that you, through self improvement, you would be too self centered onto yourself, and then you can like um, maybe put less not effort but less I guess effort I'm
focus.
trying to find for focus, thank you, that's the word I was looking at. Less focus on your loved ones or your friends and etc. You become very
I don't see
self-centered.
anything wrong with that, though.
I mean either, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's a necessary step, and that along that the by bettering yourself, it creates, as you said, this like effect where
Yep,
you impact others.
exactly.
It's like it's like a explosion radius. When it just explodes and touches everyone. It's the same thing. Like
Yeah,
explosion of
exactly.
self improvement. Bah! You just
Exactly.
explode
I
that to
agree.
your friends, and your friends are like, self improvement.
Yeah, bro, because I'm pretty sure you experienced yourself. Like one of the hardest things about self improvement is getting your friends on it, bro. It's one of the, bro. I don't know who's been able to like do it because it's extremely hard, bro. So instead of like, I've given up on that. I've given up on trying to do that. I kind of just like lead by example now because it's extremely hard.
Mm.
And back to what you were saying, Iman Gadji has a great quote when it comes to that. He says how people don't know how selfish he had to be to become this unselfish.
Mm.
Selfish men succeed in life, in business, and with women.
Didn't you have a video that was titled like that? How being
Right.
selfish, yeah.
Selfish men
I think,
succeed. It's one of my best
yeah.
performing videos.
And on the other part, so inspiration creates action takers. So it basically suggests that motivation is a powerful catalysis for change, right?
Motivation,
Yeah,
hundred
because
percent.
inspiration is motivation and vice versa, right?
Yeah, obviously I think discipline is more important, but I think motivation is like underlooked. I think motivation is very important. It's like imagine feeling more motivated to work hard, for more motivated to get inside the cold shower, more motivated to work out. Like, yeah, you're not gonna always feel motivated, but shit, I would like to feel more. Like, how much would you pay to feel 20% more motivated tomorrow
Oh
morning
yeah,
to
no,
go to
clearly.
the gym? It's very important. It
And it's
makes
interesting you
the
said that
feeling
discipline
more.
is also very important, because motivation, starts is the spark, and then discipline is the actual engine moving, and you've got to be disciplined. But motivation starts there. Yeah, and how? So, could you then elaborate on the relationship between inspiration, motivation, discipline, and taking action?
I think the why I think motivation is so important, and obviously I agree, inspiration and motivation is probably in the same family because it kind of gives you the same feeling in some way, in my opinion. But the reason I think motivation is so important is because it makes the thing you're doing enjoyable, right? It makes one, for example, if you're more motivated to self improve, you're more motivated to eat clean, work out, get inside the cold shower, meditate, whatever. Instead of like forcing yourself, being a person that's disciplined and forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do, motivation is like you actually want to do it. So it makes it more enjoyable. I think that's why motivation is so important. But a lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people in the online space kind of just like throw motivation down, like down the drain.
Yeah,
I
when
don't know if you
it's
can
equally
agree with that.
important. No, no, no. I completely agree. I completely agree. There's been, especially since David Goggins, it's this whole thing of discipline, discipline, fuck motivation, still do it. Yeah, but it's still important, right? If you still, I mean, it's going to be 10 times harder. Why, if it's there, why not just take it? Try and make the best out of it because it's going to be 10 times harder without motivation. So if you can try and find the motivation and the inspiration to do it, then take it. It's free. It's free juice, right? Free fuel to actually act onto your actions. No, I completely agree with that. So yeah, so that was about your motto because I really like your motto. It's funny because a lot of self-improvement creators have their own motto. Like, well, I know it's not yours, but you sort of adopted it for your own message. Michael Fricker's is escaping escapism. What do you think of that?
Well, what's the like definition behind it? What's the whole theory behind
Yeah,
this thing?
so escaping escapism is basically the whole idea of escapism is escaping and trying to escape your life through video games, through instant gratification, through etc. And the point and the point of this channel is to escape escapism and actually be present, fulfilled, and find meaning to your work and not trying to escape your life and overall make a better life so you don't have to escape it.
I agree with that. I've always been an advocate of not taking vacations because I feel like vacations is just you escaping your normal life. Like I feel like people work so hard every single day. Let me reword that before people think that I'm saying vacations are a bad thing. Vacations are not a bad thing. I'm saying in a sense of you work a 9 to 5 and then you're kind of just excited for Saturdays, excited for the weekend. But then, Monday is just the whole, you're going right back to your shitty life. There's this quote: if you have to take a vacation from the life that you're living, then just don't go back to that life. So I 100% agree. People try to escape their life too much with video games, weed, drugs, all these things, and it just makes it worse. The best way, I do think the best way to, I don't know, man, it's just, bro, like, people try to escape the pain too much. The pain is like suffering of life.
It goes back to what we're saying, yeah.
Yeah, and they just trying to, people just, and I get why they do it. I don't support it. I get why they do it, but it's just, bro, if you just run, I promise you, if you're watching this and you're going through whatever you're going through, if you run towards the pain, you'll get out on the other side much quicker if you just try to run away from it. That's the same thing for breakups. It's the same thing for financial crisis, betrayals, everything. If a girl breaks up with you, instead of running away from the pain and sleeping with a whole bunch of girls, buying a whole bunch of drugs and all these things, just run towards the pain. Embrace the loneliness. Embrace the memories. Embrace the up and downs. Just embrace whatever life is throwing at you. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens, you only have two options. You can either get bitter or get better. So instead of getting bitter and kind of getting worse, letting whatever life throws at you break you, get better. Use it as fuel. Use it as motivation to better yourself and just become an amazing person.
Mm.
You wouldn't have to
Well,
escape your life
yeah,
when you just do that.
Seneca has this quote. Exactly, it goes back exactly to what you're saying. Is that well, not necessarily men, but we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Like the actual fact of thinking of it, like I don't know if it's going to talk to that girl or to do something else, you're gonna suffer 10 times. Well, maybe not 10 times more. I'm exaggerating, but to make the message go, to put the message across, is that you're just gonna suffer tons more thinking about it, thinking about all the scenarios that could go wrong, how it could go wrong, than actually going to do it. Because most of the time, I've had this multiple times with public speaking. At first you're like, oh, it's going to go bad, or blah, 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 blah. But once you've done it, you're like, oh, it wasn't so terrible after all, you know. So yeah, as you said, head first, you just go into it. Don't be stupid. Don't fucking go into the fire. But obviously, stay
That's why
safe.
so
Yeah,
many people's mental health is just so bad because overthinking, it's overthinking and being in your head is the opposite of mindfulness. Is the opposite of presence. Good mental health is presence. Good mental health is mindfulness. The best thing that can improve that is just meditation. Meditation is the skill of getting a thought and coming right back to the present moment.
yeah. It's like
Right,
a curl.
right.
It's like a curl. Yeah. No, meditation was extremely changed. I've said it multiple times in my past episodes, but when it comes to focus, meditation is the best thing because you're really
And
just training your brain to just focus on something. And well, in
yeah,
this case, I do breathing. I guess you also do breath work
yep.
on the
It's the
present
it's the
moment
best thing
or
to
this.
stop
Yeah,
bad habits
yeah,
too.
absolutely. And it's a great way to also reflect because I also there's two ways of meditating, right? There's one meditation where, as you said, breath work or focusing on something to maintain your focus. And I've got another form of meditation where sort of like journaling. You just dive deep into your thoughts, understand where they come from, and try and figure it out. Hmm. What are some of your? Because you mentioned you loved reading back then. I guess you still read a bit now, especially when it comes back to rereading or coming back to your old books. What are some of the books that helped you the most? Because I know there's a lot of self-improvement creators out there that think that reading is overrated. So I just wanted to see your thoughts on that.
I think reading is like the best way to download somebody's wisdom and history into your brain in just a few hours. So, because some of these authors are dead, you can't talk to them. The only way to learn from them is through reading.
Mm.
I think you just have to have a balance of reading and life experience. That's the thing. I don't think it's black and white. People try to do like go the extreme. Nothing is black and white. You kind of just find the middle in everything, right? Um, as far as the books, any holy scripture. So I'm reading the Bible right now. If you read, the Quran, the Holy Bible.
Are you religious or are you just
No,
curious?
no, I'm not religious. I just believe in spirituality. I think it's needed to live a righteous life. Righteous life. I think it keeps you on the right path. I think if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in a higher power, etc., you don't have a tolerance of what's right or wrong. You kind of just go off of what feels right or wrong to you, and it's just I don't think that's a good way to live life. I think you should, in some way, live for somebody else, much deeper than just you, something bigger, and God, whatever. But yeah, any holy scripture. The Way of the Superior Man is a good book. The One Thing by Gary Keller is a good book, great for focus, concentration, and productivity. Probably the best book in my opinion for that. Poor Charlie's Almanac by the billionaire Charlie Munger,
Oh, I
great
didn't
book.
know that one.
Yeah, that's a great book. It's like $100. It's a big blue book. It's actually got it right there.
God damn, $100. Okay.
Yeah. um, Flow by what's the author's name? I can't pronounce his name. It's like Cheek Ming Sent Me High. It's a funny name, but it's
Okay, okay.
about optimal experience and how to why getting into a flow state is so important. So flow is like you're doing something so enjoyable that nothing else matters and just time
Mm.
just flies by, right? And a lot of us that's work and purpose. So very important for like mental health. Um, Salt, Sugar, Fat by Michael Moss is a great book on health and just debuckling all the scam of these food companies and what they do to hook us into these foods and the experiments they do. It's a great book as well. The Slight Edge by I forget the author's name, Jeff Olson. A very good book as
Mm.
well. That's just a few one that I can think of. But I have a Michael Jordan, The Life is a great biography. I just saw it right now when I turned there. It's one
Yeah.
of my favorite.
That's great, man. Yeah, I absolutely love reading. I was a big Harry Potter fan back then, like when I was 10, 11, 12, up to when I was 13, 14. And obviously that got me into a lot of reading. And now I just enjoy it. I haven't been reading that much recently, I'm not going to lie. Last book I read was Meditation by Marcus Aurelius. And before that
I want to
was
read
The
that
Way of
book.
the Superior Man. Absolutely amazing, man. That man's a...
Yeah, I want to read that one.
Well,
So.
he's the father of Stoicism. It's an
Right.
incredible book. And I've got so many books, I've got to read them. No, yeah,
For
it's really
for
important.
masculinity, some good books are Hard Times Create Strong Men and The Way of Man. The Way of Men. I just read that a couple weeks ago. It's a good book.
Okay. Noted. For honestly, I never say no to more books, or more ideas of books to read. That's basically all I ask for Christmas. I've got nothing else to ask for. I'm just like, yeah, books, books, or if that's basically it. Or socks. I always lose my socks, man. I don't know where they fucking go. I just wanted to finish this episode off with relationships, because I know that was a big part of your life, and that's something you talk about a lot on your channel. How am I going to go with this? First of all, I'd like to see your definition of high value people, so high value men, high value women, and then I'd like you to give me your take on the dynamics of feminine and masculine energy.
Yeah, that's a good question. A high value man, in my opinion, is a man that's just good at being a man around other men. So principles of, not principles, traits that he has, right? So is he strong? Is he courageous? Is he honest? Is he consistent? Is he disciplined? These things. I think it makes a high value man, not only outernally but internally as well. Uh, is he spiritual? Does he have the right values? Does he have the right mindset? These type of things. I think that, well, honestly, you becoming a gentleman is, in my opinion, is what makes you a high value man, and that's having your life set up in just a way where it attracts other high value men.
And is finance also important in that or not?
Finances, of course. That's a part of becoming a gentleman. That's a part of the modern day gentleman. That's a part of becoming more masculine. You need money to take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones. So, as far as high value woman, honestly, people might disagree with this one, but I'm not a woman. Just what I would want in a woman, what I would want in a girl is, of course, she has to be super feminine, loving, caring, nurturing, all these things. But she also has to, want to be a mom, want to have a family. I know independency and woman not giving birth and like just being single and all these things is popular now in the modern day. But I think the greatest job, the most important job is being a mom. Is one of the hardest jobs as well. So that's really important for me and a partner. But yeah, it's like the main things: honesty, honesty, loving, caring, nurturing. As far as like the masculine and feminine dynamic, you want to have your complementary opposite, right? You the whole point of a relationship is for you guys to work as a team, right? So she brings things to the relationship, skills to the relationships that you don't have, and you bring skills to the relationship that she doesn't have. That's how you guys coexist. That's how you guys complement off of each other, right? But if you're masculine and she's masculine, you're gonna bump heads. If you're feminine and you guys need to be different, because men and women are different. It just is what it is, right? The Way of the Superior Man is a great book when it comes to this topic, because you've read it. But yeah, I think that answers your question. But if there's something deeper, ask it so I can go deeper.
No. That's perfect. And then what? Because you so what you're looking for in a woman is basically your green flags. What would be your red flags?
Red flags. It's a good question. It's a great question. Red flags would not wanting children. Not wanting children. Not wanting.
I think that'd be one of the biggest ones. I think for me too.
Not wanting children. Not wanting a family. Engages in a lot of bad habits, so drinks, smokes. I wouldn't want the mother of my children like doing all that. Honestly, bro, like I think those are the main two. But there's things that
I'm putting you on the spotlight.
No, I know. I respect it. I'm not a like super huge guy on body counts. I know that's popular in the media right now. Obviously, I don't want a girl that's like too sexually experienced. I do believe in pair bonding and all these things. Yeah, I think those are the main two. I also friendliness. I also think is unattractive in a woman, like openness and friendliness. If that makes sense.
In what way?
I think a high value woman knows what to say and when to say it. She knows how to act. A high value woman knows how to represent you in public, if that makes sense, right? She's not just saying anything. She's not just doing anything. You know who's a great example of this? Do you know LeBron James? Right? Of course you do. His wife, Savannah James, I think that's what her name is. She's a great example of it. She doesn't like she's never caught in public taking pictures with other guys. She's never talking to other guys. She never says the wrong things on camera. She's a great representation of him. Which at the end of the day, that's what your woman is, a reflection of you. So whatever she does is basically a reflection of what you allow and who you are as a person, right?
And in
So
the other way around too, or not?
say it again.
And in the other way around?
Like
Because
you're a reflection of her.
yeah.
I don't know. I guess. What do you think about that?
I don't know, man. It just popped in my head when you were saying that. I mean, I guess. I guess both leave traces of who they are on each other's person, right? I think that's what makes the couple whole. So I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I never thought about it like that. I just thought about it like in my way because I'm a
Obviously,
guy.
you're a guy, yeah.
Right.
It's
That's a
understandable.
good point though. But yeah, definitely like a woman knowing how to represent you is 100 like is a green flag.
Yeah, and just what's your main opinion on dating nowadays, and how has it changed from 100 years ago?
Dating is hard, bro. It's changed a lot, and I don't know if it's because of social media. I don't know if it's because the school system, the education system. I don't know if it's because of Hollywood itself, but it's hard to find genuine people these days.
Do you know
And
there's this theory out there about that is that it's apparently because of the whole Me Too movement and the whole feminine movement that came towards
yeah,
the 2010s is
yep,
because women don't want men to approach them in public because they don't want to be harassed or sexually assaulted, which makes completely sense. But then the men are scared to approach women because they're scared to be Me Too'd.
right.
So then obviously nobody. You see the dynamic. So women don't want to be approached. Men can't really approach them, and then women sort of do still want men to to approach them, but not in that sense. So it's this whole thing of. So who's going to
Yeah,
approach you? Who's going to do what? And it's sort of like, well, I'm not going to do
everything
anything
is like
then.
all up in the air, right?
Yeah.
I think the feminine movement is a big reason why dating has been like completely just fucked because I feel like women have been confused on what it is they want or like for they've been told that chase a career and don't have kids and this, but it's just made more women just unhappy and lonely and depressed and
I
all
mean,
these.
it worked for some women, right? But for the grand majority, yeah. If you, there's this poll that asked women in general if they had the choice and the chance to do it, would they stop working and take care of the kids? And the vast majority said yes,
But
absolutely.
it is evolutionary. It's primal. Like
Yeah,
women,
they want to take
they
care of the
come out of
kids.
the yeah, they come out of the womb wanting to be mothers. It is
Hmm.
what it is, right?
And some people see the negative in that. I just think it's beautiful. And it's the
It's
same thing
beautiful.
because on my end, I wouldn't want my wife to work. But again, if she
Yeah,
wanted to work, I'd be fine. I mean, if she
right,
wants to do like a small job or
right,
she one season she wants to do this, another, I'd be like fine. But just so you know, I've got the finances for you to stay home with the kids and
right.
take care of the kids if you wanted that.
Right. It's like you give her an option, and if the
Yeah.
work that she does is something not crazy, like she's not really busting her ass so that to then come home and, like I said, being a mom is a hard job, and at the end of
It's
the day,
I
like
think I think it's the hardest job ever. Like so
exactly,
underestimate and just the bond. And I feel this with my mum, right? I'm only 19. Well, only. And just how much attachment my mum has to me.
right.
Just letting go of a kid and just taking care of this human being and then seeing it go away. I mean, the whole process from being pregnant to taking care of the kids to see it go, fly over its own wings. It's such a hard job, and I'm eternally grateful for my mother.
Me as same thing as me. And it is a beautiful thing as well. It's a very beautiful thing,
Oh, it's very beautiful.
very beautiful thing. It is like but would you rather, would you, people that disagree with that, would you rather just the education system raise your children, the media raise your children? Because that's what's going to happen. If the mom is not in the household, the dad is not in the household, who's raising the children?
Mm.
You know,
Society. And seeing
society,
how society
exactly.
is going right now, I'm not sure that's what I want.
Exactly. This is what
Yeah.
it's just a whole thing that's like completely fucked, and
Mm.
it's sad. I think homeschooling is going to become more popular in these next couple of years. I hope it does.
Mm. But the problem with that is that not everybody can. You know, there's some people that want to homeschool their children, but they can't because obviously people can't rely on only one salary or at least a
Yeah,
normal job. So they need both parents to be working at least almost full time. So to
yeah,
homeschool their kids is super hard, even though most people, well, a lot of people are waking up to the fact that they want to homeschool the children. Um, so it is pretty sad to see that some just aren't in the possibility to do it, and they're gonna have to leave their kids be educated. Which in some parts of the world, it's not that bad. I mean, school isn't fucked up everywhere, alright? Especially in the West, I guess it's pretty much fucked up. I don't know how it is in the US.
yeah. It's completely
But yeah.
fucked over here, bro.
Mm, so yeah,
It's
it
completely
is.
fucked over here. But now,
Well,
going back to that, the whole relationship topic. I think if you're, if I say this a lot, there's one thing I want to end it off with because it's very important for like especially us young guys on self improvement. It's popular to say, you know, women are not important and all these things, but as I've been saying this whole time, love, intimacy is a very important part of your self improvement journey. It's a very women are very important. Like it's you need both sides to you, right? And if you're a young guy on self improvement, the best thing that you can do is have high standards. Have really high standards to the point where you think nobody's gonna be able to meet it. Don't make the mistake that I and other people, a bunch of us made, where we settle down with maybe a low quality girl or a woman that we know can't be the mother of our children, but we did because it felt good in the moment, because she gave us everything that we wanted, and because we knew she wasn't gonna leave. That's gonna slow you down. But getting into a relationship with a high quality feminine woman is a part of your self improvement progress. It's gonna turn you into a different person.
Jordy Toribio, where can you find you on social media?
So everywhere you can find me is Jordy Toribio. That's my name on all my social platforms. JordyToribio. YouTube channel name is JT_unfiltered.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It was really a pleasure talking with you.
I appreciate you having me, brother.